Silence. Not the silence of a quiet room, but the infinite, suffocating silence of space. Millions of miles from the nearest human voice, one person breathes. One heartbeat echoes inside a metal shell hurtling through the void. No rescue, no countdown, no guarantee of tomorrow. What happens when Earth becomes just a distant blue whisper and survival depends entirely on you? This is not fiction. This is the story that was never supposed to happen. Strap in, because once it begins, there's no looking away.
1. The silence after the last transmission. Space was never this quiet before. 1 second, the astronaut hears the familiar static from mission control. The next, nothing. No voices, no updates, no guidance from Earth. Just endless silence echoing through the spacecraft like a warning from the void itself. Far beyond Earth's orbit, surrounded by infinite darkness, the astronaut begins to realize a horrifying truth. Communication hasn't failed for a minute. It may be gone forever. Inside the cramped metal capsule, every sound suddenly feels louder. The breathing inside the helmet, the hum of dying systems, the heartbeat pounding in panic. Days pass with no response. Isolation starts changing the mind. Memories blur. Sleep becomes impossible. The silence becomes a living thing, slowly breaking the astronaut from the inside. For the first time in human history, a person may be completely alone beyond Earth, trapped where no rescue can arrive, and where even hope begins to disappear into the cold emptiness of space.
2. Inside the frozen coffin, surviving a dead space station. The station was already dead before they entered it. Drifting silently above Earth, the abandoned space station looked like a frozen coffin floating through the darkness of orbit. No lights, no heat, no communication. Inside, temperatures had fallen below freezing, turning metal walls into sheets of ice. Water pipes were frozen solid. Frost covered every surface, and the oxygen supply was dangerously unstable. Yet despite the impossible conditions, 2 astronauts were ordered to board it. As the hatch slowly opened, they stepped into complete darkness. Their flashlight beams revealed a nightmare. Frozen equipment, floating ice crystals, and lifeless silence filling every corner of the station. Every breath created clouds inside the freezing air. One mistake could kill them instantly. With no guarantee of survival, the crew worked inside the dead station for days, fighting cold, exhaustion, and fear. Far above Earth, they weren't just repairing a spacecraft. They were trying to survive inside a machine that had already become a tomb.
3. The human mind was never built for deep space. After enough time in space, the real enemy is no longer outside the ship. At first, the astronaut tries to stay focused. Daily routines continue, systems are checked, messages are recorded, and the mission goes on. But deep space changes the human mind in ways no training can fully prepare for. Days without sunlight, endless silence, and isolation begin to slowly erode reality itself. The walls of the spacecraft start feeling smaller. Sleep becomes broken. Memories blur together. Some astronauts reported hearing voices, seeing strange shadows, or feeling invisible presences beside them in the darkness. Others experienced emotional numbness so deep they stopped reacting to danger entirely. With no family, no fresh air, and no escape from confinement, paranoia and depression begin taking control. Every small problem feels catastrophic. Every silence feels threatening. Far from Earth, the human brain starts turning against itself. Because in deep space, surviving the vacuum outside may be easier than surviving the loneliness growing inside your own mind.
4. One mistake away from floating into eternal darkness. In space, death doesn't arrive slowly. It happens in seconds. One tiny crack in a helmet, one failed oxygen valve, one wrong movement during a spacewalk. Beyond Earth's atmosphere, even the smallest mistake can become a death sentence no human can escape. There are no hospitals, no emergency teams, and no second chances floating in the vacuum of space. Astronauts aboard dangerous missions learned this terrifying truth firsthand. During Apollo 13, a sudden explosion nearly turned the spacecraft into a drifting tomb. In the Soyuz 11 disaster, a hidden decompression failure silently killed an entire crew within moments before they could even react. Out there, survival depends on machines working perfectly every second. But space is merciless. One navigation error could send an astronaut endlessly spinning into darkness, too far away to ever return. The most horrifying part is this. In deep space, your greatest enemy isn't aliens or meteors. It's the smallest failure nobody notices until it's already too late.
5. The first human who might die completely alone beyond Earth. Out there, distance doesn't just separate, it abandons. Future missions to Mars may push humans farther than ever before, but with that distance comes a terrifying possibility. One day, an astronaut could be stranded millions of kilometers from Earth, with no rescue mission capable of reaching them in time. No backup crew waiting, no return ship available, only silence between planets. In that moment, survival shifts from physical struggle to something far more haunting: psychological endurance. Days turn into years of isolation, knowing Earth is too far away to answer. Every system becomes a countdown, every message a reminder of unreachable home. Humanity may soon send its first explorer beyond the point of return, and for the first time, we must ask whether the mind can survive where rescue no longer exists. Silence isn't empty, it's alive in space. One mind drifting beyond Earth, where every heartbeat feels like a countdown, and hope fades into the void. From frozen stations to broken minds and impossible distances, survival becomes less about space and more about what it does to you. And once it begins, there's no coming back.